let's consider what I think is a very important quote. This is from, well, I'll call it her stage name, is Olivia Winggirl. She's the woman or the person who she moderates the Ideas Room for the Dark Journalist show. So that's all I have in terms of her name. And anyway, she said there are only two motivations: the liberation and redemption of humanity, and the manipulation and control of humanity. This is quite telling, quite provocative, and well worth seeing and talking about, recognizing and fighting the one side, and supporting and enhancing and contributing meaningfully to the right side. Would you agree? So let me share the quote with you again so that you can think about it yourself and see how you are contributing to the one side and stopping the other. There are only two motivations: the liberation and redemption of humanity, and the manipulation and control of humanity. First, what do you see about those two sides? They are mutually exclusive, right? And you know this is happening in the world. This is war. I call it the war of good versus evil, God versus Satan. This is people who love America, who love freedom, who love humanity, who love the family, who love our children, who love God. On the one side, obviously, the conservative side, Republicans and independents and centrists. And on the other side is people who, I don't understand that at all. I can't even comprehend it. Who are anti-family, anti-children, anti-freedom, pro-communist, pro-globalist, pro-totalitarian. It's like, how could anybody be on that side? Because they're anti-humanity and against children? I mean, how can anybody be against children? And yet here we are, schools of being against children. It doesn't even comprehend for me. To me, this is unconscionable. And yet here we are. I mean, so the Democratic National Communist Party is obviously the anti-human agenda. I call it Satan's narrative of evil, because that's the only way I can even get my head around how could anybody, well, support Kamala, support the open border, be pro-communist, pro-Marxist, pro-totalitarian control. Because I'm so about freedom. I'm so about empowering people, not oppressing them. How can anybody be against a strong population, a free people, critically thinking people who think for themselves and they make the best decisions for their families? How could anybody be about oppressing that? It makes no sense to me, and yet none of Fraud 1.0 makes sense other than this second motivation, the manipulation and control of humanity. Where do you stand? I mean, it's obvious, right? You're halfway intelligent at least. You know it's happening. I mean, I still remember this very clearly. This was maybe about a month and a half or 2 months ago. A woman I've known since probably 2000 or early, since I moved to Sedona in 1999. She is liberal, and that's okay. And she wanted to meet with me because she thinks she falls for that Trump derangement syndrome, which is propaganda, manipulation. It's about control, controlling people's opinion by the whole media, the Satan's narrative of evil, just spreading lies and attacking, denigrating, lying, manipulating people to dislike this person, President Trump, so that anything he says or does, I mean, all the videos, we can show them 1,000 videos of the good he's doing and has done and what he did in his 4 years, and they just won't hear it because it's almost like I think the world is red and I don't even see the blue sky. It's like, it's derangement. It's like, I don't understand that either. But anyway, she wanted to meet with me because she thinks what I'm putting out there against the narrative of evil, against totalitarian control, she thinks, because she's under the illusion, the manipulation, that the climate is a big concern, instead of being a fraud, a fraudulent narrative by people that want to divert the masses from their totalitarian control, as they are like cancer spreading through more areas of our lives. And so I talked with her about what I like about President Trump, and about, she didn't understand any of this stuff. I mean, she got, the shots and the boosters and all this. She was part of that manipulation. And it's not that she even thinks that they're good for people. It's more like that she felt pressure from her family to take it. So she's not completely on board with all of the manipulation, and she can think for herself in that respect, at least. And she's an intelligent woman. She's an influencer in the community. So it's not like she's not hearing the opposition. It's just that she has this manipulated sense of this person being evil, instead of seeing what's obvious to others, that this is right out of the communist playbook and the Nazi playbook, to ascribe to the enemy, the political opponent, those things that the manipulating party is doing themselves, the Democratic National Communist Party. They are about totalitarian control, so they say that President Trump wants to be a dictator and he's like Hitler. Well, they're the ones who want to take away the freedom. They're causing censorship against the opponent and the opponent's party. They're doing all of the things, they're acting like totalitarians. They're doing the things that they're saying the other side will do. I mean, to me, it's just so blatantly obvious for anyone who has any sense of awareness. How can anyone not? And yet, they've just been so manipulated, hammered, unrelentingly pounded into their head. I mean, like, I saw this quite telling interview with a gentleman who was fired from Newsweek after, I think, like 20 or 22 years. And he said 80% of the headlines could be Trump is evil, because that's what the narrative is. And he talked about how there is this company called Media Matters that contacts the reporters and say, this is how you are presenting this person, and this is how you are presenting this issue, and you have to fall in line with that narrative. Like, Bobby Kennedy is an anti-vax conspiracy theorist, and President Trump is evil and a misogynist and racist and all of this stuff. You know the narrative very well, because all of the media is falling into this manipulation of the narrative. In other words, it's all propaganda, it's all false, it's all communist. And yet, did you know that companies are manipulated as thoroughly or more so than the media? I saw a video about this maybe yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. Like, you've heard about the DIE scores. There's something else that, what do they call that? ESG, I think. I don't know. And there's this score, like every, I don't know about everyone, but companies and cities and schools, they have their score, which reflects how manipulated they are, how controlled they are, and they get money based on their score. So this was a revelation in terms of, like, this video that I saw was revealing, like, how, remember the whole Bud Light thing that started the whole go woke, go broke? And I think Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, lost, if I remember correctly, this video said $25 billion. And that's what I remember reading, like 24 billion or whatever. From all of this, you know, they lost all this market share. And yet the video was like, and then Target was next, where they had, you know, they were promoting transvestites, or, you know, transgender. They were sexualizing children and promoting the manipulation to confuse them, the complete child abuse, and the whole satanic line of clothing for kids from Target. And it's like these companies, the video was revealing, don't care about money or profit. They just care about their, I think it was called ESG score, because that was what determines, well, basically their survival. And this is all about the evil companies, you know the people like BlackRock and Vanguard, who control so much. Like, they get on the boards of these companies and they become activist investors, and they determine the course of the companies. So, I mean, the manipulation, going back to the original quote from Olivia, there are only two motivations: the liberation and redemption of humanity, and I find that wording very interesting, and the manipulation and control of humanity. So we've talked about the manipulation and control of humanity and Satan's narrative of evil, and how pervasive that is, that control and that manipulation of the media and of businesses. And it's already taken over so much of government at the city level, even at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level, obviously. And like, I don't even understand how Communist Joe could have even been on the stage as one of the 18 or 21, whatever it was, people who ran against President Trump in 2020, knowing how corrupt he was in his pay to play. I mean, it was like, it was like, what was it, $4 million, I think, to have a sit-down meeting with the vice president when he was Obama's second in command. I mean, how corrupt he's been, and racist, and all the way back, I was going to say since the 1950s, but maybe the 1980s, when he started in office. And, I don't understand that. How could he have even been not ridiculed off the stage and not arrested as vice president, other than how weak we had become because of the motivation of the manipulation and control? Well, anyway, so that is pervasive, and the manipulation and control is from the dumbing device. That's the agent of disconnection, distraction, disempowerment, division, discombobulation, despair, depression, distancing people, because we've disconnected from life, with our whole world being like the 3 inches in front of our face, and people think the virtual is real, and they're disconnecting from reality, from truth, from their power, from their center, from each other, from God, and they're forgetting about their purpose, which is their source of happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, why we are here on the planet, which is to serve others, to empower others, to inspire others, to help them see how much more is possible for themselves. I mean, you've heard of the Big Bang Theory, where the nature of the universe is expansion, is growth. That means for you, you're learning and growing and bettering your life. It's called Make America Great Again. And that means making your life great and becoming as strong as you can be, as powerful as you can be, as free as you can be, so that you are being of greater service to more people. Right? So the second motivation, or the first one, there are only 2 motivations: the redemption and liberation of humanity. That is in alignment with the universe. That's in alignment with America. I mean, we were created as the land of the free, home of the brave, strong people, independent people, free thinking people, right? So all of this it matches perfectly with who you are. You're meant to be free. You're meant to be strong. You're meant to be independent. You're meant to be of service, to provide value, to contribute meaningfully to your community. How are you doing that? How important is that as your focus every day? Do you wake up excitedly, like, I can't wait to serve more people? and you might say the specific way, which is your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, how you are here to serve people. Like, I'm a farmer and I'm growing healthy crops, organically grown. I didn't spray them with chemicals or all of this other processed stuff. I mean, as part of the other motivation, the destruction of humanity, the manipulation and control. I mean, like poisoning the food supply, poisoning the air, poisoning the water, poisoning the minds through the corrupt media and Hollywood, the betrayal of humanity, and how pervasive that has become, which has all contributed to us becoming weak and distracted and disconnected and divided and disempowered. So, with evil being so pervasive and prominent and present in our lives, this requires all of us working together. I call it stopping tyranny and saving America, saving freedom. We're doing this through OperationGreatness.com/friends. That's the special friends page that I created for you, as well as all of your friends, for you to transform their lives, for you to liberate them. Or, like as Olivia said, the first motivation is the liberation and redemption of humanity. So we're doing this together at OperationGreatness.com/friends, with you leading your own Operation Greatness chapter in your community as your way of contributing more meaningfully than you ever dreamed you could. And yet here you are doing it with your own OG chapter through OperationGreatness.com/friends. So we've talked about the second motivation and how damaging that has been. That was because we were distracted, disconnected, divided, disempowered. We fell for that manipulation and control. And now we're going back and becoming strong again, free again, great again, healthy again, with all of us working together, because we have always had all the power. And now we're focusing our power and we're having the impact that is our destiny to have in being of greater service. And that first motivation, liberating and, well, the liberation and redemption of humanity. So how does redemption play into all of this? I'm asking you that, for you to answer that for yourself. And how is liberation part of your motivation? I'm asking you to answer that for yourself as well. And we'll talk about that shortly. Before we do, though, I would like you to go back to the beginning of this video and hear each point and relate it to you and your work. How are you being of greater service to more people? And what would that do for you and for everyone connected with you by you leading all of your online friends through leading their own Operation Greatness chapters in their community? Because my knowing is this is the higher purpose of social media, is all of us being connected now. And you have the power through OperationGreatness.com/friends to transform the lives of every one of your online friends as you are leading, inspiring, transforming, and yes, liberating every one of them. And this is by far your greatest contribution to every one of them, because by them leading their own OG chapters in their local community, they are then transforming the lives of everyone they are blessed to be able to serve in all of their online friends, as well as everyone in their local areas as well. And this is how we are liberating the whole human family. You have that power yourself to liberate every one of your online friends and everyone in your local community. So please go back to the beginning of this video. Actually, first lead your own chapter yourself through operationgreatness.com/friends, and then reflect on all the points in this video, post about them, and yet use your Freedom Partner link, because this is how you're liberating all of your online friends, by getting them leading their own chapters in their communities as they are doing a little more LITL, liberating, leading, inspiring, transforming, liberating their online friends and everyone in their local areas as well. So use your Freedom Partner link, because every one of your online friends leading their chapters through your link, that's worth $1,000 to you per person. And our focus in the first 10 days is you getting 1,200 of your online friends doing this, transforming their lives and everyone connected with them. So that would be worth $1,000 times 1,200 people is $1.2 million. That's financial freedom money for most people. Would you agree? So we're doing this together through operationgreatness.com/friends. And I still want to talk more about redemption. So what does that mean to you? To me, it means making up for something evil that I did. I want to redeem myself. So let's talk about that aspect of this motivation. The first motivation, there are only two motivations: the liberation and redemption of humanity, and the manipulation and control of humanity. So redemption is a very interesting one to me. For example, when what I call Fraud 1.0 began, or Satan's narrative of evil became in everyone's faces, you might say, well, were you one of those people who shamed others? You got to wear your mask because otherwise you're evil and you're spreading the disease. How many people shamed others? Or the whole thing, like if you didn't fall for the tyranny, the totalitarian destruction of humanity, if you didn't manipulate others, like my mom, for example, used to call me, she's manipulated like so many, and she said, well, I think you should get that thing. And so she, and probably it's her pressure, I don't know to what extent, that my sister and her husband got it. So my mom has been, let's just say, anyway, if you were one of these people who manipulated others or pressured or bullied them, or if you were like a company who fell for the illegal mandate of the illegal administration, like where the business could be fined, I forgot if it was $10,000 a day or $1,200 a day. It was probably more like 5 figures if they didn't comply with the illegal, unconscionable mandate, the government's motivation to manipulate and control humanity. So if you were one of these businesses that mandated that illegal bioweapon to be injected, and that, by the way, as you might know if you're a smart and thinking person, critical thinker, intelligent, that's a violation of one's body. And for that mandate to even be ordered, that assumes that the government has complete sovereignty over the masses or the residents or citizens of that country. That's blatantly false in America for sure. I am sovereign, I am free. I am in charge of me. Only I am responsible for me. That could be a nice mantra for us. I am sovereign, I am free. Only I am responsible for me. So the government asserted that it has sovereignty over you. And the government can order you to insert something in your body against your will. I mean, that's one of the definitions of rape. That's not remotely possible, legal, conscionable, constitutional, and yet they did that. So there is a need for redemption. If you were one of these people who ordered that, fell for that. Hey, Dean. Right? I mean, that's obvious. If you were part of the manipulation and control of humanity, the evil motivation, then you have some good required of you, like a lot, perhaps, to undo the evil. You are responsible for pursuing, creating, causing the harm that you did. So redeem yourself by becoming a very powerful, strong, impactful, inspired visionary leader with your own OG chapter in your community. Leading and inspiring and transforming and liberating your 1,200 people in the next 10 days. Giving yourself to motivation 1, the liberation and redemption of humanity. Do so much good to offset so much evil that we the people, had allowed in the world. We are the caretakers of planet Earth. We are the caretakers of our children. If we allowed evil to be done to our children and to each other, we have to redeem ourselves. We have to undo that and make up for all of the damage that we allowed. Right? And also, let's think about redemption in terms of the day the earth stood still. I think that was the movie. It was based on a maybe 1974, 75, 76 movie. And then it was redone with Keanu Reeves playing the, let's call it, robot from another world who was sent here to give Earth one last chance to show itself worthy of being spared the destruction because of the evil men had done. In other words, like he was the judge and the jury and the prosecutor and the whatever they call the person who takes the one who carries out the sentence of the human race. And he said the self-destruct thing where he was going to blow up the world within 24 hours because he concluded that man or the human family was not worthy, was not good, was too lost, too far gone down that path of control and manipulation to be redeemed or to have the potential for redemption. He didn't see enough good in us, and that we didn't care about ourselves enough to feel like we matter. And that's also how they did manipulate us to feel like their tyrannical takeover of Satan's narrative of evil made people think that they don't matter and they don't have power and that they don't deserve the things they want. That's all manipulation. It's all a lie, because you do have the power. You have all the power. You deserve everything that you want. Because actually, my friend, you are God's gift to the world. You are God's gift to the world. You are here to be of greater service. You're here to lead, inspire, transform, liberate everyone connected with you. Not only online, also in your local area, through your Operation Greatness chapter, through operationgreatness.com/friends. So, the redemption we had felt so helpless and weak and distracted and divided and disconnected, discombobulated, disempowered from the dumbing device. We had felt like we don't matter and don't deserve the things we want, and yet you do, because you are God's instrument for miracles in the world. You are God's gift to the world. It is through you that humanity is liberated and redeemed. It is through all the good you are doing in the world that humanity is redeemed. All of the evil we had allowed, you are making up for that. You are making up for that by all the good you are doing in leading, inspiring, transforming, liberating everyone on the planet. Like you getting your 1,200 people who are getting their 1,200 people in the next 10 days. That's 1,440,000 people you have liberated. And those 1,440,000 people getting their 1,200 people. Now, my friend, the impact, the gift you are as God's gift to the world, you have transformed the lives of 1.72 billion people. That's the value of your life. That's how much you matter. Just by transforming your 1,200 people and them transforming theirs and them transforming theirs. 1.72 billion people's lives are better, are liberated because you lived. Because you took this to heart. Because you saw the power that you have. Because you felt the presence of God here, now, in all of this, because you acted on it, because you went to operationgreatness.com/friends and you led your Operation Greatness chapter, and you followed it and did the process using the posts that I'm giving you. You worked with all of us and you made it happen. You created that result because that was priority for you. This is how you are doing Motivation 1, the liberation of humanity and the redemption of humanity. That just feels right, right? Because you know this is the higher purpose of your life. This is the higher purpose of social media. It's even the higher purpose of Fraud 1.0 and Satan's narrative of evil. We had to all suffer in some way to get us to act, to get us to move, to get us to stand up, stop tyranny, and save America, to get us to own our power and command our destiny, to get us to work together, to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate everyone we can, everyone connected with us, all our online friends, and everyone in our local communities. To work together for everyone's betterment, with you being of greater service to as many people as you can. That's living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, as the inspired visionary leader of your Operation Greatness chapter. This is all through operationgreatness.com/friends. So I would like you to go back to the beginning of this video, post your thoughts about each point, and yet only do this after you have your Freedom Partner link. Because then you're liberating, inspiring, transforming, leading, inspiring, transforming, liberating, doing a little more today than you did before, and being of greater service to so many more people. Redeeming and liberating humanity. All through operationgreatness.com/friends. So get all your posts, get your freedom link, and insert your freedom link in each of the posts. This is the most important work you have ever been invited or called to do. It's required of every one of us now. Redemption is key. We're all doing this together, leading our chapters. So post all about this. Send me all the posts that you're making. Share them in our America Mastermind that you're also part of. You're instrumental within as part of your OG chapter at operationgreatness.com/freedom. Send me all the posts that you're making here, how this is inspiring you, how this is liberating and transforming you. Send that to me, dan@danclatt.com. So I want you to go back to the beginning, listen to this, make all your posts with your Freedom Partner link that you're getting with your chapter, operationgreatness.com/friends. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.